So we live in a day and age where people say tattoos are a luxury product, which means they are not essential to the consumers we are most frequently visited by. So what does that mean for the individuals who believe that they have a luxury product and they want to service a luxury consumer? So if you really break it down, you don't sell a Rolex in a Walmart. Rolexes are luxury products. Walmarts are not luxury providers of that product. So, how do we become luxury providers of a luxury product to a luxury consumer? Well, first, we have to do market research. We have to understand if we want to sell this luxury product, what is it that this particular individual is going to need to believe in us as the provider to know that it goes full circle, because the economy doesn't have to affect the product that you produce as long as you, the provider of the product, match the energy, the intention, and the interests of that individual. So, one thing that I learned the hard way throughout my process of being able to scale my tattoo business in my local area was understanding who it was I wanted to serve, who it was I was at that moment in time, and how I started to enter those social circles. So, first, I had to take a good hard look at what I was doing. What did my life really look like? If I was going to enter a social circle just to find friends in this general market, what would I have to do? Who would I have to become? And what I learned is I didn't have to sacrifice who I was. I just had to start to take myself more seriously, which I really think is necessary anyway, just as a person. You can't get by just being this version of you forever. You yourself have to get better and better for life to be rewarding. So I went into personal development immediately. I really started to analyze what it was I was doing on my day to day. Was I waking up late? The people that I want to work with generally don't wake up late. They're pretty prone to wanting to get up early to get their day started, to start taking massive action. So I started to do those things. What was it that I believed I was lacking in as an individual? So I looked at my mind, my body, my knowledge, my creativity, my business, my relationships, and my spirituality or my faith. We call those the 7 pillars and the force of focus, but we'll get there eventually. So when I looked at all these things, I started to realize, okay, well, my mind was sloppy and my body was kind of a mess. So I started doing those things first in my day. Then I realized, okay, well, I don't want to sacrifice my own personal creativity. And I've kind of neglected a lot of my own personal output of creativity because of tattooing. So then I started windowing in time to be able to do my own art. So now I'm focusing on my mind and my knowledge. I'm focusing on my body and my actions, and I'm focusing on my creativity and my ability to be my best self. When I'm doing this, I'm documenting all of it so that I have a little bit more B-roll. I'm not just doing this for social media. I'm doing this because I genuinely want to be able to track the growth that I'm able to create. And as I do this, all of a sudden, the way that I sell myself, the output that I'm producing isn't just look at my pic. It's telling a story. It's inviting people in to be a part of my journey. Now I have a redemption story that people can relate to, because all good quality clients have been through their own stresses and struggles. So now they can start to relate to me more. And at this point, I realize I'm starting to build my brand, because I know what is on brand for me. And now I know what isn't. What is the actions that I'm taking the most frequently. What is not are the actions that I used to take that I'm having to leave behind. Now, as I'm doing this, it's also increasing the amount of time and attention I can give to not only my own personal art, but that ability to produce personal art is now increasing my ability and my focus in the art I get to produce for those consumers. At this point, I'm starting to notice my clientele getting better and better, more frequent and more frequent, because social circles work no different than anything else. People associate with people most like them. So if right now you are in a social circle that's all the same, and all of them are drinkers or partiers or lazy, or they don't take anything really that serious, you're probably going to, as a byproduct, target more people like that. That's going to be a problem for your ability to build a more rewarding and more successful business. So first we focus on who we have to be just for us. Then we focus on who it is the clients are that we wish to work with. Now, when we talk about our brand is truly who it is we are, paired with who it is we are perceived to be by the consumer. That's how we put the entire brand together. And now you're getting there. Now you are becoming a quality provider of a quality product and targeting a quality consumer. The nice part about this is, as long as you are not trying to simply upsell tattoos, but just inviting people in to be a part of your journey, you can also start to sell the art that you are producing that isn't tattoo related, that is just based on your experience, that is just based on your feeling and your emotion that you put into the art. So when you look at it like that, now all of a sudden, you are creating multiple sources of income simply by becoming a better version of you and going back into the creative you were always meant to be. If you do this properly, you are positioning yourself to be an artist who so happens to tattoo instead of just wearing the tattoo badge. Because, as proof would show, just being a tattoo artist isn't good enough anymore if you want to build a bigger, better business. You have to be an artist who so happens to tattoo. There is no clout in just being a tattoo artist anymore because anybody can call themselves that. All anyone has to do is have an Amazon Prime account, pay for a $10 fucking subscription, and put tattoo in their Instagram handle. And now all of a sudden, they're tattoo artists. So if you want to rise above the mediocrity, if you want to get out of the saturated market that is the bottom feeding culture that tattooing itself has become, you need to become a bigger, better person, running a bigger, better business to service bigger, better clients with a more reputable and a more significant product on the back end. And that product can be anything you create because it is a buyer's market. People emotionally buy. They buy based on a feeling. And if you want to tap into a consumer's feelings, they need to feel like they know you, like they like you, and like they trust you. And once you have crossed this boundary, all of a sudden, your possibilities are absolutely endless. But the big issue with the tattoo industry is most people who are in it don't ever want to leave it. They want to be able to prove to themselves that they've done this for a particular reason. So they just do the one thing, but they neglect the shit out of everything else that running a business requires, which is the knowledge of brand, understanding buyer psychology as marketing, looking at it as documentation instead of content creation, having a quality sales strategy and sales funnel, understanding how target marketing is going to work in a local market, not just a broad on social media, and then being able to bundle pack that so that they have a standard operating procedure they can consistently rinse and repeat, and then train other artists to follow that same system so that everyone in-house is shooting for the fucking fences. Business matters more than the products you produce, because if you don't have people buying your products, then you aren't even a product producer. You are a cosplay tattoo artist. People hate when I say that, but when you really take yourself out of the equation and you look at it from a bird's eye view or from a client's perspective, it is so fucking cringy to watch it all unfold. But all industries go through these growing pains. We are not significant anymore because it is not counterculture. It is culturally acceptable. So if you want to be able to break through the mediocrity, if you want to be the artist that stands out in your market, and if you want to take what it is you're able to build in your market and then expand to be able to create multiple sources of income through your creative zone of genius, you need to learn how to take the stairs. There is no golden ticket. There is no luck. There is no free pass that will last long enough for you to be able to create the life that you had always imagined, unless you are willing to learn these things now and work in a room full of people who actually want more not sit in a room full of people who want to bitch about how they wish things were the way they used to be, because tattoo artists will not take control of the industry. Tattoo artists rarely do anything to make their own lives better. So why on God's earth would you believe that they are going to rally to make the industry any better? The best way to make an industry better is to make sure that each individual business is taking the path to creating a better brand, better marketing, a better experience, and then a better product. If you have any questions about how to do this, we have built a very, very accessible Skool community for you to do these things. If you already have a business and you need someone to build your brand for you when it comes to your logos, your icons, your mood boards, and to give you the knowledge on what it is it's going to take to become the brand so that your visual matches that journey, that is what we do. We will build your brand for you. We will sit down with you and build out your standard operating procedure. We will keep you accountable to the entire process, and we will teach you how to be able to lead your studio from the front to ensure everyone wins. But you have to be willing to accept the fact it is not what you thought it was. It never will be what it once upon a time was, and that it is going to take a lot of work no matter what you do. But we will do a lot of it for you. We believe in deliverables around here. It's not coaching. Tattoo coaching is the dumbest shit I've ever heard of, because tattoo artists were artists, not athletes. And until you're willing to take on the athletic mind and obsess over growth and success instead of just how cute your picture can be and uncertain of how it is you're going to get people to buy it, then you're never going to go anywhere. So we're here to help when you're ready to accept it. I'm going to put the link in the description below. Like, comment, subscribe, share this shit, because we need more artists to care more deeply about the outcome of their own individual businesses. It's not about the industry anymore. The industry is not for you. It's about your business, your future, and what it is you're capable of creating within it.